Welcome to JMW's Inside Man YouTube channel. David Smith is a partner at JMW and specialist data protection lawyer. So, David, I believe the European Commission has published an adequacy decision. What does it mean?
Right. Well, there's long been a problem with transferring data to America. I mean, the essential problem is that the US law allows US intelligence services to fairly freely and easily ask companies for information about personal data they hold, and there's no real block or limit or control on that, and that's always been a bit of a problem for the EU. And there's been two attempts to have an EU-US system. The last of which was the EU-US Privacy Shield, and they've all collapsed in various judgments before the European Court of Justice. So this new version is number 3, third time lucky, at the same thing. And it's very reliant on an executive order that was signed into force by President Biden, I think just last week, actually, maybe the week before, where he basically ordered US intelligence services to limit their data collection activities to that which was reasonable and necessary. And applying that form of words basically makes it a lot easier for the EU to sign off on this. So what's now happened is that a new privacy shield has been created, although it's now called, I think, the DPF, the Data Protection Framework, between the UK, not the UK, EU and US, which will more easily allow for data to be transferred between the two.
And this is between the EU and the US. I'm acutely sort of concerned that we've left the European Union. So how does it
yes. The UK is not part of the EU. There is no arrangement between the UK and US, and it is still difficult for UK companies to transfer data to the US without doing a risk assessment and entering into an international data transfer agreement. So this provides no benefit to UK companies at all. And the government is working on this issue. And I suspect, I mean, they have a data protection bill working its way through Parliament, and I think one of the outcomes of that will probably be a certification of the US. There is a sort of way around this for some UK companies. So if a UK company had an EU establishment as well, so an EU company that was part of the same group, they could, in principle, provided it was reasonable and necessary to do so, shift that data to the EU company, and then the EU company could, in theory, shift it on to America. Because if you adequacy decisions are, as it were, you know, they spread beyond boundaries. So effectively, if you shift data into the EU and it's reasonable to shift it onto the US, they can do that. So it may be possible for some UK companies to go round the loop, as it were, to solve the problem with America. But as things stand today, the executive order doesn't benefit the UK, and UK companies will still have to go through the current process. And this has a lot of problems. I mean, and you know, there are lots and lots of little things people don't realize. There are popular mail shop packages, for example, that are entirely based in America. And of course, there's the much more big ticket item of Facebook, which keeps all of its data in America, and of course was recently subject to a decision saying it had 6 months to sort things out. And in effect, the signing off and moving through the privacy shield is probably the get out of jail free card that Facebook now requires, in that they are likely to be able to say, well, we can rely on this adequacy decision to solve all of our problems. And of course, they're incepting exciting new products like Threads, which was also potentially subject to the same issues. And that's all now likely to be fixed, as it were, behind the scenes for as long as this version of the privacy shield lasts. And obviously that's not a guarantee either.
And I know, David, that you advise lots of companies on data protection matters. So more generally, how can you and the team help businesses?
Well, this is probably a bit highfalutin for most companies, but we can certainly help them with their data transfer arrangements and what they can and can't do, and preparing the necessary risk assessments. We find ourselves doing that a great deal. So if people need to transfer data abroad, including to places other than the US, we're very happy to help them.
David, thank you very much for your insight. And if you'd like to speak to David and the data protection team here at JMW Solicitors, you can email insideman@jmw.co.uk or call 0161 82 81 999. Please also subscribe to the JMW Inside Man YouTube channel for the latest legal news, hints and tips. I'm Dominic Walker, JMW's Inside Man.